open the hood and remove your battery cover. Grab the plastic trim, gently pull upward, releasing the plastic pins from the rubber grommets. On the passenger side of the engine compartment, grab your trim piece, gently lift upward, separate that, set that aside. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, gently unscrew, lifting up on our locking pin here. And then remove your lock button. Use your trim tool, get underneath the edge. We'll lift up the center of the lock button here. And repeat across the front. Grab the upper support trim here. I'm going to separate the plastic push pins from the rubber grommets across the front. Set this aside. Using your trim tool, remove this lock button. Repeat for the other side. Using a 10mm wrench, socket, or whatever you have there, go ahead and loosen your ground terminal on your battery. Remove that. After we disconnect the battery, we'll put the ignition key into the ignition, turn the key to the on position. This unlocks the steering wheel, so we can go ahead and manually turn the wheel like so. This is going to allow us to get into the fender well area and release the plastic push pins holding the edge of the bumper. Using your trim tool, go ahead in and release the plastic push button here. Pop out the center, and then remove the lock button from the fender liner, securing the bumper. Now, there'd normally be one up above. Our particular car is missing one of our buttons here, but you want to repeat for the other side. Remove the two lock buttons. Using a trim tool, you're going to go right inside the fender liner here, peel this back, and this is going to expose a Phillips head screw. This is securing the bumper to the fender. Go ahead and remove that screw. Repeat for the other side. On the bottom passenger side of our bumper, there's a 10mm bolt that goes through a metal clip on the back side. Just go ahead and try and remove that bolt. Using our trim tool, I'm going to go ahead and release this little plastic lock button. Pop out the center, and then the insert will fall out. The two 10mm bolts right here. Normally there would be an extension of a plastic air dam. Ours is missing. Repeat for the other side. And just to get that out, use a pair of pliers to grab our retainer clip on the back side. Starting on the driver's side, we're going to go ahead and grab the bumper, gently pull away, tugging it a little bit and pulling forward. We're dislodging the plastic clips from our tabs in our bumper. I'm going to pull the bumper out of the upper retainer here. On the upper portion of the bumper, there's going to be a retainer tab right here. Use a trim tool. Pull that forward. It's going to start to release the bumper. Going to do the same on the passenger side here. And the bottom portion of the bumper, I'm going to go ahead and release these plastic lock buttons here. There's only 2 of these. On the passenger side, I'm going to grab the edge of the bumper, start to pull this forward. With one hand, you're going to disconnect the bumper from underneath the light. With the other hand, you're going to hold the bumper and support it, because once this is disconnected from underneath the light, the bumper will be loose. And we'll go ahead and pull that bumper forward. Using a 10mm socket and extension, I'm going to go ahead and remove a series of the bolts holding our headlamp. Use our Phillips head screwdriver. I'm going to unscrew this here. And remove this screw right here. $10mm bolt for up top here. When you remove this here, the headlamp will start to drop down. On the bottom side of our headlights, there is a bracket right here that is supporting the light. There's 2 10mm bolts holding it behind our windshield washer tank. So what we're going to do is going to remove a couple bolts on the reservoir tank here. The front one, the bottom one. Let me see if we can get a little bit of mobility here. It's not allowing too much room, so we're going to go ahead and remove the back bolt here. Now we have access to the 2 bolts right here. Go ahead and grab your headlamp assembly. Go ahead and work that forward. On the back side, let's go ahead and disconnect all of our lights. Little plastic tabs on the back of the connectors. I'm going to press in the tab, work that off. Reinstall your light connectors. You want to feed your bracket down into the body area. Line the lower bracket up with the edge of the body. Once the lamp is up into place, we're going to go ahead and install the upper bolt into the light. Just get that started by hand. That'll hold the light in place while you install all the other bolts. Let's go ahead and install our two 10mm bolts on our light support here. Let's go ahead and get those snug down. Go ahead and line up our washer tank right here. Going to get our lower bolt in. And we'll get in our rearward bolt. Go ahead and snug these down. Just going to install our support bracket right here. You want to push the lock tab into the fender itself. That'll snap in. Install our two Phillips head screws. Before I secure that one down tight, I'm going to get the other one started back here. And we'll snug both of these down. Going to install our 10mm bolt right here. Get that started. Get the one up front here. Get that lined up. And get our lower bolt installed. On the upper portion, get our upper bolt started in here. Let's go ahead and snug these down. Let's go ahead and line up our bumper. We'll go ahead and make sure that our bumper lines up with all of our tabs here. Line that up. Want to get our notch lined up with our mounting tab right here. Push that in, work around to the driver's side. We go ahead and get our bumper lined up with our mounting tabs. And make sure that your body line lines up nice. the seam, the bumper's pressing all the way. Your lock tabs on the top, across the top, and same across the driver's side here. You want to take our forward part of our fender liner, tuck this up underneath the bumper. We have our metal retainer clip right here. Slide this on. Push this up into place. Our original bolt had broken. We had to heat up that clip, remove the remainder of the bolt, and we just replace that with a new bolt. Before we snug that down, grab one of your plastic retainer buttons, pop that up into place, lock that. This point right here was broken on our fender liner, so we cannot replace that one. On the forward part of the splash shield here, install one of your plastic push pins, press that lock in. We're going to use our 10mm socket to go ahead and snug this bolt down to that clip. Snug that down. Now repeat for the other side. Under the front center section of the bumper, install your plastic retainer buttons. There's only 2 of these. Go ahead and install your plastic inserts here. There's 2 of these. Repeat for the other side. We're going to install our upper radiator cover. Install our retainer buttons here. Use your trim tool, pull back that inner liner, and there's a spot right here where your small Phillips head screw goes up to secure the bumper to the fender. And put that in and snug that down. Tuck that in. Repeat for the other side. Go ahead and install our side cover. Go ahead and grab your negative terminal, put that on. We'll go ahead and snug up our battery. Once that's on, go ahead and grab your cover, line that up, pop this into place.
This is going to be a general tutorial on how to aim your brand new TRQ headlamp assemblies. Okay, so looking at your brand new TRQ headlamp assembly, you're going to see where your low beam is, and you'll see a little dot right in the center, and that is the axis point, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to mark that with an erasable marker, just so it's easier to see. Next, what we need to do is measure from the level ground up to this point and take note of that measurement. Now we're just going to pull the car up to our wall. On our vehicle, we remember that the measurement was 28 inches for our access point. Your vehicle may be different, but that's where I'm going to put this tape, just above that 28 inches. We'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so let's just back the vehicle up, straight back 25 feet from the wall. And now that we moved our vehicle 25 feet back from the wall, we're going to start with our measurement here. That's where the headlamp center is. We're going to go down 4 inches on the driver's side. On the passenger side, we have our line here. What we need to do is go down 2 inches. To adjust the driver's side, we're going to cover our passenger side headlamp. If you look at the back side of your headlamp assembly, you're going to see something that looks like this. This is the adjustment. Some of these headlight assemblies have 1, 2, or even more of them, but you should at least have one. This is how we're going to adjust the headlight beam. Now we're going to lower the top part of the beam down to just below this line. When you turn the adjustment to the right, it brings the beam up, and if you turn it to the left, it'll bring the headlight beam down. And this is this way on most vehicles. Let's continue on to doing the passenger side. All right, we properly aligned our TRQ headlamp assemblies. Okay, and on the quality TRQ headlamps for a pickup truck, the procedure is going to be the same. You're going to find your center dot, mark it, and then you'll measure from the level ground up to your dot. So once your headlamps are properly adjusted, it'll be time to adjust your fog lamps. You'll notice on the driver's side, the focal point is all the way at the bottom right now. I would like to bring it up so it meets up with approximately the bottom of the focal point of the headlight. Some fog lamps have an adjuster, others don't. The ones that do have an adjuster, you would just turn the adjustment to the left or to the right to adjust the beam up and down to where it needs to be. Now with your TRQ headlamps and fog lamps properly aligned, you can drive down the road safely.